Hi there. Today we are going to talk about the topic that I had a question asked on another one of the videos, which is basically like, am I being invited to initiate? Is the summarized version. Now I'll read the question for you. And the question was asked on, I'll put the video up here after the live is finished, but the video was when people want your projector insights for free. So this video today is going to be helpful if you are a projector who is trying to understand the nuances of the invitation or waiting for the invitation, which is our projector strategy, or if you're somebody who wants to better support or understand a projector loved one, a projector client even. Thanks for letting me know in the chat that you can see and hear me. That's fabulous. So let's dive in. Now, the question that was asked, I'm going to read it to you in full, and then I'm going to break it apart to make it a little bit more simple for our purposes here, speaking it out. But they said if somebody invites you to an opportunity and says to reach out to someone, to reach out to someone else, in a way, would that be inviting yourself to the other person? Is that a true invitation, or should you wait for an invitation from that second person in particular? So let me break that question down, and I'm going to reorder it a little bit so it's easier for you to follow along. So let's imagine that the person said, if you're a projector and someone invites you to an opportunity and says to reach out to someone else, is that a true invitation? Because I feel like if I were to reach out to that other person, I would be inviting myself or initiating the process with that other person. So should a projector in this situation wait for the invitation from that second person? Great question. Thank you for asking it. And below all of these videos, if you have a general question where I don't need to see your human design chart, you are welcome to ask those questions and I can turn them into future videos if I haven't covered that topic on the channel already. So what I always am trying to do when I am explaining any aspects of human design, is especially the feeling of strategy or inner authority, regardless of what your human design type is I'm trying to explain what it feels like, so that you can get a sense of that. And I use feeling a lot because I have feeling cognition, but what it sounds like, what it looks like, the sense of it. Because as soon as you can get a sense of it in your body, or you can see the pattern, or you know what it sounds like, then in every different situation in your life, you will get better and better at identifying this for yourself. And it's okay if you ask me 1,000 different versions of the same question. I will try and find 1,000 different ways to answer the same question. But the ultimate goal is for you to feel empowered by knowing what an invitation looks like and feels like and sounds like, and that it's easy for you to identify yourself, right? I want you to feel empowered in order to know how to do this on your own. So here's the short answer for this. If the first person who has asked you, has encouraged you to reach out to this other person, if that invitation looks and sounds and feels true to you, then it is an invitation. And think about an invitation as somebody energetically or maybe literally opening a door for you, right? They've opened the door. It's easy for you to walk through. Now, sometimes for an entire process to play out, there might be multiple doors that need to open. Your job is not to think, 2 or 3 or 12 doors ahead. It's just to look at the one in front of you. So if that person in this question, the projector, who was invited by this person right here to go and talk to that person over there, if this person who did the inviting appears to really value and genuinely recognize and be genuine in their invitation, that's enough for you to check in with your inner authority. Is this a yes or a no for me to reach out to this person? And to, if it's a yes, to walk through that door and then to go ahead and reach out to that person, right? So it's enough for you to take that first step. Now, that second person might not know you exist yet, right? they might not be in a position to work out yet whether or not they recognize you, whether or not they want to invite you. They need the opportunity to do that. And it's not it's really important that you don't try and get this whole thing perfect in advance. We can't take the many multiple steps. I want to give you an example. For me to be in the intimate relationship that I am now in with my romantic partner, who I've been with for many years now, there was not a single one invitation. When the chain of events started that had him then invite me to hang out with him and him invite me to be romantically involved with him and then ultimately move in with him, when that chain of events started, he didn't know me and I didn't know him. But there were several things that had to happen before that happened. And if I had worried about trying to get to the end goal before I'd even started running up the field, if I use that analogy, I would never have got to the end goal. Okay. So I want to encourage you to think about invitations just in terms of what's the one door that's in front of me. If somebody's opened that door with a true invitation that comes with recognition, that feels honoring of you and your inner authority says yes, then take that next step and see what happens. That would be my encouragement. Now, you need to temper that with are they inviting me to go and do something that's going to cost me a lot more money than I have? That's not a good idea. Is it something that's going to cost me a lot more energy than I have? That's not a good idea. And your inner authority is going to protect you in that way for you to be able to work out whether or not that's a good match for you. So this is literally all you need to do is think about. One of the things that I've heard other people who've been playing in design much, much longer than me talk about, and it can be a little bit confusing, but I want to see if I can explain it here. And that is that once the door has been opened, once there is a true invitation, the projector can initiate within the confines, within the container that was created. So hopefully this continues to make sense, that once the door has been opened, you can then make a lot of things happen within that container. For as long as the invitation holds true, as long as the recognition holds true within that container, you have a lot of room to move. You don't have to think about constantly checking in, constantly checking, do people recognize me? Do they value me? Do they want me? You might need to do it periodically to just make sure that the container, that the opportunity is still correct for you, but you don't have to do it at every step of the way. You can make things happen within that context. So it may well be that in this situation, if I come back to that question, that this first person who has invited you, if that felt really true, they've opened the door, you go ahead and you reach out to this person, and then you see whether or not that second person recognizes you and invites you. And if they do, then they might open the next door. I hope that that's been helpful. If you find that you are wanting to better understand the projector strategy, I did a whole video course on this that's really structured. So of course you can binge your way through the channel, and I'll put some more videos up here on screen after the live has finished processing. But if you want a really structured way that is a really good use of your time, there's a link in the video description for that. And if you're somebody who is like, Carolyn, I feel like I know the ins and the outs of the projector strategy better than most people, but I still can't live it, like I can't get my body to actually do it, then I want to encourage you to jump on the email list. I've linked that in the video description as well, where you can, that's a space where you can do one-on-one coaching with me. But what's really exciting is I have just started launching group classes to teach deconditioning using the tool that I have developed called trauma-informed tapping, which is a combination of everything that I've learned in the last 10 and a half years of tapping. I have learned so much, and it is time for me to be able to share that in a class format, which means it's a cheaper price point than it's ever been before, to learn how to do safe, deep, effective, gentle, wonderful tapping to help you decondition and live true to your design. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you jump on the email list. It's in the video description.